It's the questions. It's the questions, boy. It's the questions. It's the questions. Come on, the questions. It's the questions, boy. It's the questions. It's the questions, yeah. The questions. It's the questions, y'all. It's the questions. It's the questions. Dig it. The questions. It's the questions, boy. It's the questions. Yeah.
All right, family, we're back. It's time for the Ask Max segment for today. The question that was posed to Charles and I is whether or not boycotts are effective. And this is, of course, as a result of the different things that are happening around our society and people feeling like if we control, more specifically, if the black community controls the way that they spend their dollar, they can have more of a say so. Am I on the right track? And so and bring about change. Me personally, we're gonna have everybody chime in here, but
and before you answer, can I say that it's definitely specific to black folks with the particular issues happening currently, but that boycott, definitely crosses those lines of effective change in general. Not just black. If anybody want to address it.
Okay, I am not. I'm on the fence. I'm not totally convinced that it will bring about the change that we want. I'm not totally convinced because I just feel like, for those of us that don't spend our money, somebody else does. Like and the businesses will be able to sustain itself, in time enough for us to change our mind and go back in there and buy everything that they sell. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not convinced that it will bring about the change that we want. I may be off track, but we'll see what everybody else thinks.
My turn?
Yep.
Me, on the other hand, I definitely think that the most powerful thing that we as African American people have is I was getting ready to say buying power, but it's not. It's our spending power because we don't really own a lot of stuff. So with that being said, if we get together in unity and decide to move in any sort of direction, we can affect the world, period, point blank. And I know as a businessman, if you affect my pocket, I'm going to listen to every single thing you say, because the people that make the rules, their constituents, as they like to call it, the people that they claim that they're supporting, they don't really listen to. They feed you a little bone every now and then. The people that they really listen to are the people behind the door where the deals are made. Now, you start affecting people's pockets, somebody gonna talk to somebody else, and then that's how you're gonna make your change. I know that for 100% fact, because every person listening, if your check ain't in there when it's supposed to be up in there, you gonna call everybody you got till you find out what's going on. Yes or no? You know what I'm saying? Especially our people. Attitude come, you gonna start fussing, but you gonna hear every single word that they got to say. It's no different. You affect people's pocket, they're gonna listen to every single thing you got to tell them.
So Max, let me sort of pose this question to you though. The thought of if I don't spend it, I'm sure somebody else may spend it. Don't you think that that's kind of like the same as the voting? The voting idea is like my vote really doesn't count, so I don't necessarily have to vote. So I'm just kind of posing that question to you, is that if we all have that mindset of that my dollar doesn't matter, then we won't do it. But I guess sort of like Razor was saying, if we collectively do it and we are consistent with it, then do you feel like that will make a difference? And I also say it kind of reminds me of the hot Friday. I call it Hot Friday. I don't like calling it Black Friday. And I used to be in retail, and we called it Hot Friday at one time before it was Black Friday. That has different connotations. But anyway. So I agree that if you don't buy that big screen TV on that Friday after Thanksgiving, just say that you're doing something socially, but then you're gonna go buy it later from the same manufacturer, same retailer, then to me that doesn't make any difference. But if it's a concerted, consistent effort, then I feel it makes a difference.
Like I said, I'm not 100% convinced. I don't mind entertaining the idea. We'll see whether or not it works, but I really need, and maybe it's lack of knowledge on my end, because explain to me the trickle down of if I don't go buy that TV, then what happens out there to stop us from being, racism, or us from being shot, or this or that or whatever. Explain to me how those two meet, and then maybe, it makes sense to me.
I think Max's point is great. Another thing I would actually add to that is an example that I would use based upon what Max just said is reallocating of funds to go in a different direction. So I'm going to use my own pet peeve. It's not to bash or talk bad about any other black person because I'm doing my best to not do that. However, I have a problem with clubs and entertainment because that is a huge portion of what people that classify themselves as black do with a large portion of their time. That's just my opinion. What if you said, okay, I'm not going to go to the club, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that time and I'm going to listen to a show like In My Humble Opinion, and they have constructive topics on, and I reinvest and I put that same money there into that show. So now we have a broader platform. We have more time to discuss constructive issues where they're talking about starting businesses, how to, dodge yourself through this racist society, how to be a more productive parent, education, all these different areas. And then all of a sudden now, as Max said, you have a real trickle-down effect because you're getting information that you can actually use. We've been doing a lot of, and Razor and I were talking about this, when somebody's got their foot on your neck, you can't dance. You got to get your head from under their neck. You can't get your head from under their neck if you bobbing your head while they got your foot on your neck. You dancing and they like this and they just, hey, I got my foot on there. Look at this brother right here. And I mean, you might not even realize. So I just think it's a reallocation of assets to where the money is going. I also don't recommend investing in every single black business, as Maxilia said, because it's what's the constructive effect that it's going to have. If a brother comes out there and says, hey, I got this food truck. All right, well, not even that, but I got this food truck. And this when I take the money for the food truck, I'm going to the strip club. That's not constructive. How does that come back into the community? But if I have somebody that says I have a food truck and I also have a radio show and I have a platform to where I'm starting business and creating other opportunities, that's something different. So I'm just saying reallocate the money to constructive things. Everything has a constructive or non-constructive effect. This radio show should be invested in by more people other than just us. Think about the platform. If you had 2,000, 3,000 listeners a day that were each putting in $50 a pop every time they listen to the show, y'all would be on 9 to 5 every single day. Think about that effect that would have on black society. Just my opinion.
So you can contact Razor.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it always come out wrong because I'm thinking about it, man. That's my man, And he does not own a strip club.
When they started talking about money, I started smiling like Lilo Brown from the Barbershop movie. No, but all jokes aside, Aaron just touched on something very, very serious. If you took all your friends that go out to the club and you think of the money that you spend on your hair, your nails, your outfit, cleaning your car, the liquor that you drink, the food that you eat at the 24-hour place after you get finished.
What if I'm
you
drinking
took
Ciroc
that,
and Army?
right, and top shelf too.
But I'm saying like a Diddy and Jay-Z own Ciroc and Armadale, so can I support them? Can't.
No. Look, he try to get me off track, y'all, but I ain't gonna let him do it. But no, all jokes aside, if you took the friends that you go out with in 1 month, you took every dime that you're going to spend, because every time you're not gonna buy an outfit, every time you ain't gonna buy the bar out, but if you took that money and at the end of 1 month, you and your friends look to invest it into something, then you would actually have something. Now we're going from your spending dollar to your ownership, your buying dollar. Then you transfer, and that's the mindset that Maxilia was talking about. Where is it going to help? You just improve the quality of your life in 1 month. And then you did it with your friends, people that you got to trust, because if you're going to get passed out and pee on yourself and everything else and ride the Uber, I said it. Yeah,
Uber
I said
everywhere.
It. Look, someone's cut. Play that twice. Play it twice on Sunday. Look. No, all jokes aside,
people coming home from
you
church
can
listening to
improve the quality of your life. All it takes is a little bit of restraint. And that's what we're trying to preach here at In My Humble Opinion. A little bit of restraint will go a long way for you, your children, and your children's children.
So you're saying if I save all my money from if I don't buy Newports for a month, right? And save my money and invest it in something, it'll make some changes happen.
Absolutely. If you took something as simple as get with your friends, because what I'm trying to preach is unity. Doing not, we know how to act separate. We know how to look out for our own selves. You know what I'm saying? And you did something where it requires unity, accountability. You know, I saved my $5. Did you save yours? Yes. And we get together and then we say, okay, now what are we going to do with? Then you find somebody who, you ready, Aaron? You find somebody who you really, that you trust. And then you invest that money in somebody smart like Aaron Simmons. You know what I'm saying? I promise you will have something.
Hey, so
They're doing sign language for the mic. Like,
hold the thought though. Hold the thought, 'cause I want to make sure that I don't lose my rebuttal though. So because as y'all know, like I'm in the entertainment field as well, and so I do want to clarify though that just because it may be entertainment doesn't mean that it's not black business owners that then reinvest in the community. Because I know a lot of brothers that DJ, I like run and engineer shows, and they do things for in the community and things as well. And I'm even saying something controversial, but but y'all know every stripper is paying their way through college, so you supporting that. No, I can't say that. I'm sorry, my bad.
I can't touch it.
I'll touch this one. I'll touch it. That's fine. Do we need more, based upon the evidence and everything that we've seen in the last couple weeks? Do we need more strippers or attorneys?
I'm not arguing that.
Do we need more? Do we need more black journalists or do we need more DJs? I'm not saying that it's not necessary. What I'm saying is that based on the evidence of what we do, I mean, like Razor just said, I watch people plan parties, and it might be your business, but you plan a party. It's a riverboat ride. It's all white. This is what we gonna do. Everybody pay $50. You might have people that spend $80,000 to $100,000 just getting ready for that event, but they might go back home to an economically deprived neighborhood. So where are you putting your money? Is it constructive or is non-constructive? I want to be on a winning team. I have seen no evidence, and this is where the emotion gets in. We're not winning.
We're not winning.
So in order for us to win or to do what we're supposed to do, we have to slightly change your thinking. And that's all that it comes down to, is just slightly change your thinking and start thinking of things a little bit more critical. And sometimes I just don't think that we do that. Even on the musical note, yes, we can have these events, but do we need to have clubs and parties all the particular time? Think about one thing, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, I always quote her, but she reminds me of something. Black people in the 1800s, we didn't have nothing but time. But during those times that we had, guess what we would teach people how to do? Read on a dirt floor. And only one person knew how to read. In today's world, you can have these kids learn the nene and the dab in a day. Now, how does it start in New York? Or what we got, Razor? The Millie Rock? The Millie Rock will start in New York on a Monday. And guess what? It's in California. It's all over the nation by Friday. How come we can't teach these kids about engineering? How come we can't teach them about medicine? If we have the power to do that, we have the power to do anything. It's just more constructive ideas and just refocusing the energy. That's
and
it.
We done took this show over, right? They're not going to invite us back. But I do got one thing. I got to say this. And furthermore, all right, I know I'm a little rough around the edges. If people who are out there selling pharmaceuticals on the street, you are businessmen. Do you understand that? There is a lot of work that goes into the business of being into illegal drugs. Take that time and find somebody and invest your time and your efforts in something where you don't have to look over your shoulder. Something that you can be there and raise your kids. You don't have to get your mama put out of her house. You know what I'm saying? You're not looked down upon. You walk into a store, you get mad because somebody looking at you funny. Well, Lord have mercy. Look at what you're doing. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying stop selling yourself short. That's all.
But it's up to us to provide those opportunities so that they see more than that being their only way out. Yep. You feel me? And Aaron, I agree with everything, 100% what you were saying. Only thing I will add, though, is that we also had music from the beginning as well.
Absolutely.
Like, so as artsy as we are, like we should be using those things for the positive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And not just solely entertainment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because music got us through the Underground Railroad. We had hidden message in our gospel.
Right. We were going somewhere.
That's right. We were going somewhere with it. That's right.
Right now we standing there. We twerking.
Yeah. We twerking and bobbing our head right now.
You can't wait in the water and twerk at the same time.
In my humble opinion on 101.3 Champ. We'll be right back.